invited to a murder. Arlington Grange, home of Mrs. Peacock, self-styled lady of the manor, who's anxious to preserve the quality of village life and her own status. Colonel Mustard, a close friend. He left the SAS to form a private security company, advising foreign governments. The Reverend Green keeps the spiritual interests of the community at heart, a relentless campaigner to preserve the local heritage and wildlife. Professor Plum, an ambitious American business graduate with a keen eye for profit, he recognizes the value of friends in society. Ms. Scarlet, like her stepmother, Mrs. Peacock, enjoys a passion for men, although not all her past lovers are fond memories. Mrs. White, housekeeper and trusted friend, finds it difficult to keep her anger bottled up when causes she cares about are threatened. 6 people with murder on their minds.
Good evening. A murder has been committed at Arlington Grange, and tonight we'll solve that mystery. Who did it, with what weapon, and in which room? And while you play detective at home, 2 teams with me here hope to be 1 clue ahead of you. They're tonight's detectives. First, the next policeman who needs no further introduction, literally, John Stalker. John, when it came to murder, did you always catch your man?
More or less, yes, as a result of teamwork, of course. And talking of teamwork tonight, my teammate here is Judy Roberts, who comes from Hertfordshire. And Judy has been, on these murder weekends, a professional corpse.
A strange hobby, Judy. What was the most inventive death you had to put up with?
I think probably a hatchet in the head or maybe the poison custard.
I think we'll try and keep that away from you tonight. Against you this evening and is BBC Television's star of Juliet Bravo, Anna Carteret. I would imagine you're no stranger to murder either.
In the studio, no. And with me tonight, I'm lucky enough to have Dr. David Weeks, who's a neuropsychologist, professional at the Royal Edinburgh Hospital.
Goodness me. David, have you had any murderous dealings with actors and actresses?
Yeah, one of the murder victims I've studied quite closely was an actress, and some of my private patients are Hollywood movie stars.
Goodness me. Our detectives. Our investigations indicate that tonight one of these 6 weapons was used to commit the crime. Was it a spanner, the shotgun, the poison? Was it the knife, a curtain tie-back, or this statuette? And there's another part of the mystery for our detectives this evening to solve. In which room at the Grange did the murder take place? Was it in the drawing room, the study, the kitchen, the dining room? Was it the billiard room, or in the library? And now to the evidence. In the few hours leading up to the murder, members of the Arlington Village Stop the Disco Action Group had been meeting at the Grange in an effort to stop property developer Mr. Hall from draining the village pond to build a discotheque. We joined Mrs. White at the threatened village pond.
Don't you worry. Mrs. Peacock won't let any money-grubbing developer ruin your pond. We're not having any disco in this village. What on earth?
What there is?
Land acquired for development. Is it?
This disco is the kind of development that is tearing the heart out of the countryside. Well, I will not let you destroy the fabric of my village.
Mrs. Peacock, let Mr. Hall speak. We must give him his say.
Look, can't we wait till Colonel Mustard gets here?
No, he's half an hour late as it is.
Well, he did call in to say he had a flat tire.
Yes, everybody understands that. But as chairman of this meeting, I can't wait. Mr. Hall, if you please.
Thank you, Vicar. What I'm saying is that what I have in mind will be good for the village. My leisure centre will be a great step forward for us.
Mr. Hall, where is the pond on the plan?
We found the scheme worked better minus water facilities.
Meaning?
The drain the pond.
But Mike only bought his cottage because of that pond. He likes to look at it when he's having his breakfast.
I'm afraid Colonel Mustard's breakfasts are hardly my concern.
Nor ours. We're here for the good of the community and the rich heritage of our village life. Now we, at the Stop the Disco Action Group, will fight you every step of the way.
Mustn't stand in the way of progress.
Well, you call this progress? If you drain the pond, what happens to the village? What about the environment? And there's lots of wildlife depending on that pond. What about the ducks?
Ducks. Off.
Mrs. Peacock, they've started already. He's only come here to distract you all. His men are in the village now, and they're draining the pond. Oh, my poor little ducks.
Well, ma'am, what have you got to say?
Well, what's a few ducks, more or less, when progress is at stake?
Progress? Profit, you mean? The ducks are God's creatures, too.
Going vegetarian now, are we, Vic?
Well, as a matter of fact...
And what about you, Prof? What are you doing here? I thought you'd had more sense.
Don't try to evade the issue.
Sense enough to know that profit isn't everything, Mr. Hall.
Well said, Professor. There are higher values.
If there's anything more valuable to a man than his property, I'd like to know what it is.
Well, come to church sometime and you might find out.
I bought that land fair and square. Didn't I, Professor? Now, no one tells me what to do with what's mine. You just keep your nose out of it, will you?
Don't you talk to Reverend Green like that. Mike Mustard will be here soon. We'll see how full of yourself you are then.
Ooh. Do you really want to threaten me with the Colonel, Vivian? Don't think that's a very good idea, do you?
How much, Mr. Hall?
What?
How much for the land and the ducks?
Ah. Now we're talking. Well, it depends, doesn't it? How much are you offering?
Large. Mr. Hall and I will take tea in my study. Yes, Mrs. Peacock.
Mrs. Peacock's generosity never ceases to amaze me.
I think she'll be the one amazed this time. That land costs a lot of money. I don't think she'll be able to afford it.
How much, Pete?
I feel like I need a breath of fresh air.
What's got into him? Speak to yourself, Vivian.
He's evil, he is. My poor little ducks. It shouldn't be allowed. They'll have to be stopped. That's right. He'll have to be stopped.
You never used to say
No.
No, come on. Just have a little word with them, that's all.
Mr. Hall, you will find the washroom at the top of the stairs.
Already did, thanks. Oh, I did. I wasn't in as much of a hurry as she seemed to be.
This way, please, Mr. Hall.
I understand, but surely he can't afford to say no.
Oh, I'm afraid it looks as though he will. What is taking him so long? 1 or 2 phone calls, he said. I shall check my bill when it arrives. Nasty, greedy little man.
Maybe I should go and ask him to rejoin us.
Or perhaps I should have a very long chat with him about camels, rich men, and heaven.
Yes, perhaps you should.
What the...
Blanche? Oh, Blanche! Oh, murder! Murder! I should have
Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. You got my message about the flat tire? Well, don't all look so pleased to see me. What's up? Somebody died?
So, property developer Mr. Hall has been found dead. And all the evidence points to these 6 murder suspects. There are the murder suspects, the 6 weapons, and don't forget, there are 6 rooms at Arlington Grange. The drawing room, the study, the kitchen, the dining room, the billiard room, and the library. And these together provide the clues to the brutal murder. Now, detectives are ready to interview the suspects, but first, to decide who begins, John and Judy, a test for your powers of observation. Why was Colonel Mustard? He was late for the meeting. Why?
Well, because he'd telephoned that he had a flat tire.
Correct. Okay, you now have the right to ask the suspects 3 questions and then make a deduction. But before you start, there's one final point. 5 of these suspects here will be telling the truth. Only the murderer can lie. So your first question, please, and to whom?
Yes.
Right. Yes, I'd like to ask Professor Plum. When Mr. Hall was talking to you about or was talking generally about the price, he started off a sentence. He said, "I thought you had more sense than this. I bought the land fair and square, didn't I, Professor?" Can you tell me what involvement you had with the sale of that?
Mr. Bellini,
I think it's a valid question.
I don't
Professor
see
Plum.
what my financial dealings have to do with the murder investigation.
We do have a murder on our hands, though. I think keep it brief, but please, they have a right to the answer.
All right, I sold Mr. Hall the land.
Very
and
briefly.
as a result of selling him the land, I realized what I brought on this
ruined the
community,
village.
and I was trying to help out.
He was trying to help out later. Okay, your second question, please.
The second question is to Ms. Scarlett. Mr. Hall, the deceased, knew your name. He knew your first name, Vivian.
Right, well, I may as well come clean about my murky past. I had an affair with Mr. Hall.
What another one? Is there anyone that you haven't had an
Let her finish, please.
You and I wouldn't dream of it either.
Let Professor Plum, please.
Right.
There's one more question, then a deduction.
Okay, it's to Mrs. White. Can I ask you what you took out of the cupboard in the kitchen when you were making the tea?
Oh, yes, certainly. I'd forgotten the sugar.
Your answer. I think that's your answer. Please, a deduction.
Yeah, okay. We'll have a first run at it, and my partner here is going to be the voice of us both.
Okay, we think it was Mrs. White with the statuette in the kitchen.
Mrs. White with the statuette in the kitchen. Well, I can tell you were right on one of those assumptions. One of those assumptions only. So we'll move over now to Anna and David. Your first of 3 questions, please, and to whom?
I'd like to ask the Reverend, why are you really so afraid about what will happen when the pond is drained?
My great love is environmentalism. In fact, it's probably better explained if I just tell you a brief love
Very
of the
briefly,
genus...
Green, very briefly, please.
Moles, save the moles, is my great love.
There was the answer. He was
Save the moles.
environmentally concerned. Your second question, please.
Environmentalism, basically.
Why was that heavy significance from Hall, the deceased, when he said to you, "Are you vegetarian now?"
I think he was actually just being rather nasty. As my friends will tell you, I've been vegetarian since I came to the parish 10 years ago.
Yes.
Ardently so.
Right. So that's a red herring.
So
or
to
a red
speak.
mole.
Except I wouldn't eat a red herring.
Third and final question, then your deduction, please.
I'd like to ask Mike Mustard, how could an SAS man have a car that has a flat tire?
English roads, really. I mean, you just can't trust them at all. It happens to anyone.
Even a soldier. A deduction, please, now.
You say your version.
David Weeks.
I think it was the Reverend because you can't get moles under lakes.
Oh, no, really, that is so stupid.
With what
He
weapon?
did it.
Nobody takes me serious.
He did it in the withdrawing room,
With what weapon?
and he did it with the knotted pole.
So you're saying it was Reverend Green with the curtain tie-back in the drawing room.
In the drawing room.
Well, I can say that you are wrong on all 3 of those assumptions.
Thank you, Mr. Bellini.
So we can exonerate the Reverend Green and indeed eliminate those 3 elements from our inquiries. So, there you have it at the moment. 2 sets of deductions, both a little bit wide of the mark. But before we proceed, I'd like to put that same evidence to our grand jury here, to the 300 members of our studio audience. Now, you've seen the clues, you've heard the suspects, and indeed you've heard from the detectives. Now, what's your verdict? This is your chance to put your finger on the guilty party. So please make your decision now. And it's a pretty close-run vote at the moment. 1 in 3 of you, 33% here in the studio, think that Miss Scarlett perpetrated the evil deed. By a narrow margin, though, 35% of you pointed the finger at Mrs. White.
Now, wait.
All will come, gentlemen, ladies, all will come clear.
You've had.
But I wonder, is that your view at home? We'll take a short recess now, a chance perhaps to compare notes before we find out who really murdered property developer Mr. Hall. So, a murdered property developer with, as we now know, 5 possible murder weapons in 5 rooms at Arlington Grange, and, because the Reverend Green has now been eliminated, the certainty that one of 5 suspects could be the murderer. And at this moment, the finger of suspicion is pointing very clearly at Mrs. White. But before I invite our detective to make a fresh deduction, some fascinating new evidence for them to consider.
Pig. Utter pig. I'll show him. Oh, come on, answer your phone, can't you? Tell me not to switch it off again. Darling. Ben. Oh, Reverend, you startled me. I was just fixing myself a little snack.
Yes, I can see, yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
Fascinating. But to decide who has the chance to apply this new evidence, first, Anna and David, here's a test for your powers of observation. Now, there's a knife rack there at the back of the kitchen. How many knives in it?
4.
There were 4, correct. So you can now go on to cross-examine the suspects. But because we're sort of nosing towards the truth now, we're going to give you just one question and then a deduction. So a question, please.
Professor Plum, if you had done the deal with Hall, the deceased, why did you have to go back to the car to check the papers? And what papers were they?
May I take this moment just to say that...
Can we stick to the point?
I have so enjoyed you on your show.
Can we stick to the point?
The Bravo show, it was just great.
You
Every
are
time
under
I came over from the
suspicion,
States,
Professor Plum.
I so relished seeing that program.
I think you may take that as an avoidance.
No, I'd like to answer her question. I was just looking at the papers that had to do with the transaction that I've already acknowledged to everybody present that I was the one who sold the property to Mr. Hall. I thought I should look over those papers because I'm not looking for any litigation.
Professor Plum, thank you. Your deduction.
We think it's Professor Plum with the spanner in the kitchen.
You think it's Professor Plum with the spanner in the kitchen. I'm afraid you're wrong on all 3 of those assumptions, so they can all be eliminated from further inquiries here this evening. The advantage now comes back to John and Judy.
And I
Your
just
question?
want to say that I will never watch your show again.
Do sit down.
Well, I'm upset.
Be quiet.
Americans are very noisy people, are they not? Your question, please.
Yes, you
Miss
must.
Scarlett, can I ask you who you were telephoning when you came downstairs to make yourself a sandwich?
I tried to telephone Mike. I needed a little bit of comfort because I was a little ashamed. But I thought he answered and it cut off, so I just took my
She
comfort
was
from
calling
sandwich.
Colonel Mustard. Your deduction, please.
We've decided then on a process of elimination that it's in fact Colonel Mustard with the knife in the billiard room.
Colonel Mustard with the knife in the billiard room. You're right on but one of those
Just one of
counts,
those.
I'm afraid. One. So
times they
the
get
advantage comes back to Anna and David now, who must surely be near to the truth.
Do we have a question?
You can have a question, then a deduction.
Did you come into the house before we saw you come into the house?
Absolutely not. I just arrived. Absolutely not. I just arrived. It takes time to mend a puncture.
Your deduction, please.
I think it's Colonel Mustard with the statuette in the dining room.
You're saying it's Colonel Mustard with the statuette in the dining room. The dining room was, in fact, you're right, where the murder took place. We now know that the statuette was involved as the murder weapon. But as for the man who raised his arm in anger, it was indeed Colonel Mustard.
That damn disco was going to ruin me. I had a cash flow crisis, and my accountant said the only way to save my business was by selling up and moving to a cheaper house. Mr. Hall had sent the value of my house through the floor. Well, I didn't know what to do. I did know that the last thing I wanted was to sit in a room with that man. So I made my excuses, but when it came to it, I couldn't just sit by not knowing how it was going. So I drove over and went and listened at the window.
Mrs. Peacock's generosity never ceases to amaze me.
I think she'll be the one amazed this time. That land costs a lot of money. I don't think she'll be able to afford it.
I suppose I knew what I had to do the moment I heard Plum say that Mrs. Peacock wouldn't be able to buy the land. There was only one way to save the village and my business. I sneaked inside and hid in the dining room. I was on the other side of the door when the rat was blackmailing Vivian. It just made it easier. When they'd gone, I went to listen at the study door. I was almost caught twice by Mrs. White when she went by and when my phone went off.
Darling.
After Mrs. Peacock went by, I waited for Hall to come out of the study. I got him to come into the dining room. I picked up the statuette, and then when he was dead, I left by the window. Then it was easy. I just wandered round to the front door. I would have got away with it. I should have. It's not fair.
There we have it. Colonel Mustard murdered the property developer, Mr. Hall, with the statuette in the dining room. My apologies to you 5 other suspects here tonight. Of course, you're totally exonerated from blame. Thank you for helping us in our inquiries. Our commiserations with our losing team of detectives tonight, John and Judy, and our congratulations to a perfect answer to Anna and David. Join me again at the same time next week when murder will once again be committed at Arlington Grange on Cluedo. Good night.